Okay, you got a drink of water and all
Great.
settled in? Okay. If you'd like, Cory, you might make a brief statement about your match, then we'll open it up for questions.
Didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I just stayed in there and I didn't get frustrated and just kept my mind straight, kept wrestling. I knew I had to shoot to win. I knew I had to shoot to score. So I got a little bit sloppy, taking some shots that may not have been there, but I knew that was wearing on him. I mean, whether it was a great shot or a bad shot, as long as my counter offense was good and my defense was good and I wasn't letting him get a reshot, I was able to really get him start thinking defense. And once a guy starts thinking defense, that's when you get to the leg and you finish.
All right. Questions?
Jordan Hansen, Daily Island. At the beginning of the year, before any of this, before the season, the first media availability, you told me that last year, losing the finals is something that motivated you, something that you took to heart. What do you have to do differently this time?
A lot of it's the same. It's just kind of small tune-ups, mainly just in my head. Like can't let the crowd, can't let negative thoughts impact you, and sometimes as a competitor that's tough to do. And maybe it was last year was my first time, maybe this, maybe that. I'm not gonna go back to last year. This year I'm gonna come ready to wrestle, and I'm gonna put the best me out there, the best Cory Clark on the mat, and when that happens, I shouldn't be disappointed in my results.
Up here at the front. Mike.
Cory, Mike Fitt from Wynn. You said you don't want to feed off of negative thoughts, but do you feed off of positive thoughts? Consider the way Gilman had won his match. Did you see that at all? Did it have any impact on you going to this match?
Slightly. It's great to see that, and it helps, but the type of mindset I've had my whole life is what happens before you or after you, none of that matters. It's all, you got to be selfish in this sport, and the team kind of takes itself if you're selfish and you do your job individually. So that's what I worry about is me. And I tell my teammates good job, they tell me good job. We influence each other, but personally I don't. If Gilman, not to bring up last year, but last year Gilman didn't win his semifinal and I still went out there and did my job. So that's kind of a prime example.
Right here on the front, did you have a question on the front row? You had your hand up earlier. No? Okay. Gary?
Just a follow-up, Cory, the scary out of USA Wrestling. At one point, you and Thomas were in the same weight, and then you guys obviously have trained and been together as part of the Hawk program and have a chance to be national champions on the same night. So just talk about that journey, because clearly along the route, both of you guys have gained from the opportunity to be teammates.
Yeah. How often does that happen where back-to-back weights win from the same school? Job's not done yet. We haven't done that yet, but we have an opportunity. We had an opportunity before this tournament started, and we've continued that. And tomorrow night, we're there. One more match, and that's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty cool thing to do.
Back row?
Cory, this is Caleb from Takedown Radio here. So talk a little bit about your high school. You've got 3 guys that could be All-Americans here from that. What do you think about that? One of them's your teammate, and we got another one from Missouri.
Really that just says a lot about our high school coach, Jason Christensen. He's a big deal. He's a big named high school wrestling coach. But, individually is another thing. I've been saying individually a lot this interview, but I feel like that's where, you got to be self-motivated. Your coach can only do so much for you. If you're a self-motivated hard worker and you got a good coach, that goes well together. If you're not self-motivated, you're not a hard worker, a good coach can try and get the most out of you, but it's a lot easier if you're just an individual and you do things right on your own. And that's kind of where I feel credit to our high school coach, credit to our college coaches, and credit to ourselves.
Last question. It's right up front here, Nicole.
This is Ross Bartachek from IA Wrestle. Cory, you got Nashon Garrett in the finals tomorrow. What do you kind of think about him? He's been wrestling real hot lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a real explosive. He's long, not necessarily lanky, but he's a long, explosive, long arms, blast type shot guy from what I know. But I mean, this is a tournament where each round you can wrestle people that you're not familiar with. You just gotta be ready to go and ready to wrestle your match. So, excuse me, I know what he's got, but in order to win this match tomorrow night, I gotta get to what I got. So.
All right, thank you, Cory.
Yep.
Congratulations, Cory
Thanks
Clark,
a lot.
finalist.